Scout rifles have been down for the majority of Destiny 2's lifespan. Yes, there are some outliers that could be presented, but they don't necessarily count because they're unique. But what happens when you introduce a good scout rifle into a balanced sandbox? Well, that's what we're going to talk about here today. So for today, we're going to look at the Contingency scout rifle. The Contingency plan is a 260 RPM arc scout rifle, obviously is in the energy slot. Its impact is a 45, its range is a 32, its stability is a 50, its handling is a 28, its reload speed is a 33, its aim assist is 66, and it has a 20 zoom. Recoil direction is about a 53, and the magazine at base comes in around 17. The reload speed is about 2.48 seconds, and the fall off for it, hip fire is about 34 meters, and then the ADS is about 68 to 35, so about 70 meters, so 35 and 75 and 70. Now, right from the gate, I'm a little bit biased because this weapon is a full auto scout. I should just end the review there, but I'll continue on because you guys are watching. And if you want to click that subscribe button, please do so. Also like the video if so far, you seem a little interested. All right, but seriously, the fact that it's a full auto scout plays a big part for me as to why I love this weapon. I love scout rifles. I love full auto weapons. Mash them together and you got me dead to rights. Much like this gun, it feels so crispy to shoot, probably from all that stability. And when the shots connect, it's almost as if you are threading a needle. It's lacking on the range, but honestly, most of the time I barely notice it. It also has a decent sized magazine at base, but in my opinion, all scouts suffer when it comes to the magazine because they only tend to come with either 14 to 17 shots at max. All right, I think all scouts should have somewhere around a base of 20 to 25, somewhere in that range. Regardless of how that range plays out, the perks on this weapon are pretty good, even with the reissue. Now, usually it's reissue weapons that are just in the world loophole tend to kind of fall away and get hit with a brunt stick because they don't get enough perks or decent perks to kind of form and fit with the gun. But this one seems to do pretty decent, and a lot of the perks do benefit and help out in that range department like I was speaking about earlier. So let's go down a list of everything that's on this weapon in the perk pools. First up, in the first column, obviously you have pretty much every single barrel mod you could possibly think of: arrowhead brake, chambered compensator, corkscrew rifling, extended barrel, fluted barrel, full bore, hammer forge rifling, and polygonal rifling, as well as small bore. All right, in the second column, if I can get it off the screen, accurized rounds, appended mag, tactical mag, extended mag, steady rounds, and owl magazine, as well as flared magwell. Now, most of these perks do help out with that issue that I said is, again, with most scouts coming in around the 13 to 17 mark with the magazine. Some of these do help out and get you up to that 20 boost that is desperately needed in a lot of cases. In the third column slot, we have firmly planted, tunnel vision, outlaw, no distractions, subsistence, and surplus. Then in the final column, we have unrelenting, thresh, frenzy, kill clip, elemental capacitor, and one for all. Now, I gotta say, with the perk pool here again, I want to point out here that it has gotten a lot of good perks to make this gun very well rounded. I mean, you can go anywhere with one for all, subsistence, surplus, kill clip, even no distractions, outlaw, frenzy, and tunnel vision, as well as thresh and unrelenting. All right, elemental capacitor, I would agree with that one as well, and firmly planted in certain situations. Everything else makes this thing feel so smooth, so fitting to just use, whether you're playing PvP or PvE. Now, I'm next going to talk about the PvE recommendations as well as my PvP recommendations. So for PvE, I'm going to recommend Outlaw with Frenzy or One for All, and I'm also going to recommend Subsistence with Frenzy. If you notice for these groupings, I have Outlaw with One for All and the runner-up choice. Reason for that is because of the magazine. Because I have to waste a few shots in order to proc the damage, it's not worth it because I have a small magazine to work with. It's not going to be a lot of damage I'm putting out in the first place anyway. If I can go get a Frenzy with Outlaw, that would be absolutely perfect in my book. Secondary to that would be subsistence with frenzy or one for all. Again, I don't want to really crutch on one for all, but you're wasting a few shots just to get that 35% damage buff. Whereas with frenzy, you can easily go for 12 seconds with being in the fight or whatever the case may be, and still get that 15 increased damage, minus the 50 handling and the reload speed and all of that. But you still get an increase in damage that's stable while you are in combat. For my PvP recommendations, this one's pretty simple for me. So I'm going to be honest here. The thing that feels good no matter what combo I've managed to get in almost any variations, but I've settled on, is my surplus frenzy for PvP. Okay. And you're probably screaming about probably screaming or about to turn the video off for me saying that, but hear me out. The role has a good range masterwork, so it lets me fight at a better range. If I could get something different, it would either be kill clip or elemental capacitor, since I play top tree Dawnblade for that reload. But I know a lot of people are going to say, well, elemental capacitor is a better choice overall. And I get that and I agree with that if you are doing mid-maxing with specific subclasses. If not, and your playstyle just works around you just shooting a gun pretty much like me, then it doesn't really matter at that point. If I was mid-maxing with the subclasses, then maybe I would go with elemental capacitor over surplus or outlaw. But at the end of the day, kill clip is the #1 perk in the last slot, along with surplus or outlaw. This weapon is a world loophole drop, so I'd farm at your own risk. What that means is, I do think this weapon is great. I have it. My recommendation is a yes if you want to get this weapon and keep it. Definitely keep it in the back closet in the vault. But don't waste your time throwing shards and all that other stuff, or trying to go into just regular activities trying to get this gun to drop. Honestly, you just be hurting yourself. Okay. That being said, go at your own risk. Also, it's not a top tier, but it can definitely contend in the right hands. And if used properly, I've even used it fighting in trials and had success against things like DMT, pulse rifles like Darkest Before, hand cannons like what is it called? The Ace of Spades, and even against Vex, Mythic class. So take that with a grain of salt, and that's just me. I even go as far as to say I was having a good time bullying those people using those weapons. And then, hey, they might have been just, players that are worse than me in PvP. Again, take that how you want it. But that's my review and overview of this weapon. If you like it, thank you for watching the video. Make sure you leave a like on the way out. It helps me out a lot. If you want to subscribe to see more content, definitely do that. See you guys in the next video. So peace.